Hey everybody, I'm back. I wanted to do a follow-up video. Um, just wanted to kind of introduce myself since I didn't really go into any of that on my first video. You have to forgive me. This is very new to me. So yeah, the first video I did was a little trial I did on some different products to coat ceramic tiles if you're doing paint pouring on these. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I'll link that video in the information and the details. But I wanted to do a follow-up video. I did put in that video that I wasn't an affiliate with the company that I recommended the product. But what I'm using here today is a product that I was using strictly for my tumblers. I used to use epoxy resin. It had a really bad reaction, so I switched to this Brite tone. It's a company called Crystalac. They're actually providing me with a affiliate link, so I'll be able to provide a discount and affiliate link here very, very soon, so watch for that. But I wanted to follow up with my other video and show you how easy it is to apply this product. It's so easy and so fast. Kind of give you an idea, especially if you are a resin epoxy user. And you can see just how absolutely easy this is. No PPE. This is water-based product. So I keep a little bit into a little squeeze bottle right here, and you just take a regular brush just like this. You want to make sure it's a nice quality brush so the bristles aren't coming off as you're using the product. I use a really nice brush I got at Michael's. It was actually kind of expensive, but it was on clearance, so I'm a bargain shopper. So before I get started, I spritz a little bit of water onto the bristles, and then I kind of make sure it's all off so it's just barely damp when I get started. So I'm going to start with the tumbler first, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to apply to a tumbler. This is a tumbler I'm making. It's in the final stages. I added a decal and some water slide today, and I am actually just applying some of the final coats of the Brite tone here. So you literally just take your brush and just very gently run it along the surface of the tumbler. And you don't want to push too hard. You don't want to create any air bubbles. The darker your surface, the more likely you are going to see the air bubbles. And honestly, a little bit of this goes a long, long way. Like, I barely squeezed any on there, and I've got like a fourth of the cup covered already. And it is so quick. You don't want to overwork it. You want to spread it out. You want to make sure you apply a very thin coat. So if you're used to doing epoxy and resin, usually it's a much thicker coat that you're putting on. This is just like super, super thin. A lot of people use their finger so they can feel how thin it is. I really kind of like using the paintbrush because you can kind of see. I know people have, mentioned that they have trouble with paintbrush strokes. If you get a really nice paintbrush like this, you shouldn't have that issue. So I usually just apply it all the way around. Now, you don't have like a whole lot of working time with this product like you do with a resin, where when you mix part A with part B, you have like 40 minutes, 50 minutes of working time. It's a little different with this product. You want to make sure you get it on. You don't overwork it like I mentioned. You want to get it on. It does dry pretty fast. So if you're going to be doing an application where you're going to need more time, they do sell an extender that you can add to it that'll give you more time to work with the product. So it's not like a lost cause or anything. So you do have options. They sell other products besides the Brite tone. They sell, a gloss, a matte. they sell another product that I bought. It's actually the base coat, this white paint. It's called Ultimate White. It's actually really nice. It goes on and it eliminates the need to spray paint. They have some other products that are really nice that go along with all of their Crystalac products. They have glitters and mica powders and several other products. I think I've kind of made it all the way around. I want to make sure everything covered. I always have to touch it because it's really hard to see. Make sure I get the bottom here, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to do the ceramic tiles as well. I do have plans to do another video where I'm going to do some testing on the larger ceramic tiles that I do. Actually, I have one right here. I've been doing some larger ones where I'm going to plan, instead of the smaller ones where you make them into coasters, I'm going to make these into like a, not really, I don't know if you call it a pot holder or a trivet or whatever. You put a hot dish or pot or something on it. I have some items, some little sticky things to put on the bottom, some protective cork, but I'm going to do some tests with some hot pans and some hot dishes coming out of the oven to make sure, because I believe this Crystalac is rated at like 500 degrees or something to that effect, but I want to test it, see how well this holds up and make sure that nothing sticks to it, just like I did with the hot coffee. So I have that video in the works, so stay tuned for that. But I want to show you how easy it is to apply this Crystalac to these tiles. So let me move the camera since I've got the tumbler all set so you can get a better view. I'm going to turn my tumbler turner. So basically I just take and spritz a small bit, and you just literally spread real easy. And I usually I don't go over it too many times. It doesn't take that much, a couple of drops, and it just smooths right over it. And make sure you don't have any brush strokes. Not swimming here, we're painting. I usually just real lightly do the sides. The thing that's different about this Crystalac is the Brite tone. I always call it Crystalac. It's the company. The product is Brite tone. You do have to sand it about every 3 to 4 coats. Now I have found on the tiles that I can get away with like 5 coats, depending on like what the design is. If it's light or dark, you can kind of judge it. Some of them I don't have to sand at all, depending on how smooth the paint turns out. If it's like super smooth, like the metallics are very, very smooth. If it's super smooth, you can put 4 or 5 coats on and you're done. And this product dries really fast. So if you're doing a tumbler, you literally only have to turn it for 1 hour, turn it off and let it dry 3 more hours, and you're ready for another coat. It's a lot different than epoxy, where you have to wait 8 to 12 hours for your second coat or your third coat. A lot of people wait 24 hours. With this one, in 24 hours, you can get 4 coats on it. So really, depending on how you're designing it, is how many layers of the Brite tone that you need to put on a tumbler. But I've gotten some of these tiles as few as 4 to 5 coats, depending on how much texture is in the paint design. 6 or 7 is probably the most I've had to use, and you can still see a little bit of texture through it, but I don't think that's going to bother anybody. It still has that really nice shine to it. So you just kind of add layers until you're satisfied with how nice of a shine it is. And when you do sand it, you want to use a real light, I don't have any, real light, like a 220 grit sanding sponge. You don't want to use like real rough sandpaper, and you want to just barely even go over it, just barely touch it, and then rinse it off, and that's all you have to do. It's so easy, and you're ready to go again. So I just wanted to follow up my other video and show you just how absolutely easy it is to apply this. I can do a tumbler and 30 tiles in like 10 minutes. So that's all for today. So I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to my YouTube channel since I'm just getting started. I can use all the love I can get, and stay tuned for that next video where I'm gonna test the hot pans and dishes on the bigger tiles. Thanks again, and everybody have a good weekend.